I'm extremely proud of this team, and it's not because we've won a lot of games because we're 52-72, but we've shown promise while still tanking, and that means a lot because I want to get a good draft pick, but I also want to be able to find really good prospects on my team. But speaking of really good prospects, I got an idea. Now, you guys know that I'm a big believer in pitching, and Sixto Sanchez is available. Now, he's 19 years of age, he's a stud, everyone's talking about him in the Phillies organization. A potential at 19. Now, I have to give up Tristan McKenzie, who again is a pitcher who's a year older with A potential. We have to give up Hassan Diaz, who's a 21-year-old second baseman, but we're already good in that department. And Dermis Garcia, as you guys know, we already have a good third baseman. So I think this trade makes a ton of sense for me. I get a stud with 91 velocity as a 19-year-old. That's only going to go up. So Sixto Sanchez, welcome to the Miami Marlins. Now we're finding ourselves here with Esteban Florial in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's a tie ball game at 1-1 with AJ Minter in the bullpen, the lefty. Now we'll see what he can do here with 2 guys on and nobody out. The first pitch, oh, it's a submarine style pitch. It's going to be a slider inside. All right, sitting with a 1-0 count again. Florial, he's been blossoming here in the major leagues since we called him up and he got off his injury. He's going to poke one into right center field. That one is going to score at least one. We're going to move a guy over here. We're going to see if we can put Florial over to second base. A little risky to be running so late, but Frisky is going to score. That is going to give us the walk-off hit from Esteban Florial. And I'm telling you guys, there is so much young potential. We have speed. Despite, not having a lot of power and our contact being okay, we are 10th in the major league in stolen bases, and that just shows why. Speed all across the base pass. Florial goes to right center field. That is going to be a walk-off hit for the young fella, the first of his career, and the Marlins, they're showing a lot of potential. Now, at the end of the season, you can tell that we obviously did not make the playoffs. We were 68-94, and yeah, better luck next season, but we still showed a lot of promise. I'm not too upset with how we played in the first year. While I'm not going to spend a ton of time looking at our overall statistics, I do want to kind of give you guys a snapshot of how your players ultimately did. So you see Kyle Seager ended up being the best player on our team. With only 18 home runs and 82 RBIs. A lot of that because he didn't really have protection on the team. Dakota Elrod was by far, I think, our best offensive rookie. This guy had 54 runs scored, 132 hits, 17 home runs, and 62 RBIs with a batting average of about 249, which isn't bad. Andre Johnson batted about 250 with 36 stolen bases. Marcus Frisk was an all-around fantastic player. 12 home runs, 59 RBIs, 11 stolen bases. Would have liked to see more aggressiveness there, but a solid batting average. Jared Cooper got the job done. Esteban Florial ended up getting injured towards the end of the season after we called him up, but again, he showed some progress there. Gleyber Torres wasn't bad, one of the highest batting averages of all of our rookies. You see Zanino was a solid player for us, Monte Harrison, and I think overall our position players, they did pretty solid. From a pitching standpoint, Sean Manaea was by far our best pitcher, but he was only 14-10. He didn't really have a ton of run support, and I kind of feel bad for the guy, but going into this offseason, I got a feeling we'll pull in a couple players that'll help him out a ton. You see Jose Urena was 7-9, Yanoa 6-11, Drew Streckenrider was 5-6. You see Dane Straley was injured for the majority of the season, but he was 5-4 before he went out. I think had he actually been healthy, that ERA might have went down a little bit, but he was still okay. You can also go down here and see Alvin Morris came up to the major leagues at the end of the season. It was 3-2 because we had a ton of injuries, 33 strikeouts. He walked a lot more people than I would have liked, but I mean, 17 walks, 33 strikeouts, not the end of the world, but getting a 3.12 ERA as a young fella, that's pretty solid. Kyle Bearclaw ended up being 3-7, so he blew a lot of saves, but he had 39 in the year, which again is not horrible. Overall solid performance by him, but we definitely want to try and move this guy in the offseason. Unfortunately, a lot of the statistics that were for our minor league players ended up getting wiped because after they finished their AA and AAA seasons respectively, it apparently resets their stats to 0, but we can kind of look at a couple of the guys here. So Sixto Sanchez is still 70 overall, went up 1 overall point. You see Trevor Rogers is a 68 overall. He was in AAA to finish the season. AJ Berry also in AAA at a 67 overall. Sandy Alcantara, some solid dudes overall here. Trevor Richards, 24 years of age at 63 overall, and I think we have one other individual. On the relief pitcher side, Bobby Beamer is a guy that we're obviously keeping our eye on, 71 overall and a B potential. He did pretty well, but I'm really interested to see how our guy Hank Chase ended up doing. So Hank Chase, 64 overall, he's still in AA. We saw control issues, we saw him blowing saves, we saw a high ERA. He's got a lot more work to do, but I think going into next season, we can hopefully see him move into AAA at the latter half of the year, and he'll probably be fine. Andre Johnson also showed a ton of promise this offseason. I mean, 94 speed with the stats that he put up. I'm pretty happy. I mean, 36 stolen bases is incredible, and he showed way more power with 7 home runs than I ever thought we'd see from him. Jamil Aziz did come up and play in the major leagues a few times very briefly, but Cameron Maben just could not stay healthy, so maybe we'll see what happens with Jamil Aziz in the next offseason, but at a 69 overall, he has a little bit more room to grow before we make him an everyday starter in the outfield. So if you're interested in who won the World Series, the Giants end up beating the Twins, which is a World Series matchup that I don't think anyone could have anticipated, especially on the Twins side, but congrats to the Giants. We'll be there soon, I promise. As we hit the offseason, we can kind of look at the retired players and figure out what happened there. So we lost a couple of players. We lost Isaac Galloway, James Needy, Drew Rosinski. None of those guys really matter, but Brad Ziegler was our closer. I mean, this guy was 39 years of age. I don't blame him for retiring, but this opens up an opportunity for Bobby Beamer or Hank Chase to prove their worth and at least move up at least from AA to AAA for Hank and maybe AAA to the majors for Bobby Beamer. A few more noticeable retirements. We're also going to see CC Sabathia and Chris Young. Ichiro's incredible career finally comes to an end. You got to imagine he'll be a Hall of Famer sooner rather than later. An incredible talent in baseball. And just as we mentioned it, Ichiro goes into the Hall of Fame with 3,143 hits, and rightfully so. He retires with the Seattle Mariners. And before we jump in and kind of sign some players in this offseason, I have to make an adjustment here. Don Mattingly, look, you're not really the guy that I want to be my head coach or my manager, so we got to get Don Mattingly out of here. So guess what, sir? You're fired. To get this team ultimately where I think they need to go, we need to throw a lot of money at a big guy. So I'm thinking Dave Roberts should be the manager I target. +2 in power, +3 in arm accuracy, +3 in home runs per 9, and +3 in hits per 9. Those are all fantastic categories, so I want to make this dude an offer. So I'm thinking we're going to throw a lot of money at this dude, something that he can't really resist. We're going to go 3 years, $29 million. So we did land Dave Roberts, and we haven't really got our third base coach, but the guy that I'm trying to land is Trevor Bautista. I think he'll be a good addition for us, and I'm paying him more than I'm paying everyone else. Look, our team is trash. I know it. We haven't really won a lot of games, so I have to pay them a little bit more than the other guys. And now that I look at it, I think I'm going to hire and fire a few more people because our hitting coach is only a B, and I need more than that. So we're going to fire Ashley Kim. We're going to look for a couple of options here. So we can see the best person available is going to be William Tate. I don't think, actually we got someone right here that's not bad. Gary Pettis, +2 for clutch, +3 for discipline, and +2 for power. Bunting, I don't really care about because we don't really spend any time bunting over here. We're a non-bunting team. So we're going to make Gary Pettis an offer here, and he doesn't really have anything on the market. So I'm going to say, look, 3 years, $4 million, come work for us. Along with firing our hitting coach, we're also going to fire our farm director because I need people that are A potential only. And in Michael Sherrick, I think we just found our new farm director. He's an A attribute grade, +1 for contact, +2 for batting clutch, +1 for pitching clutch, and +3 for arm accuracy. No one's really made this guy an offer, so we're going to say $3.4 million, 3 years. That's a nice little salary for you. Before the Rule 5 draft kicks off, I'm going to give you guys a full look at the 40-man roster. This is also going to include the people that were renamed as rookies that we drafted in the previous draft because they're now on the roster as well. So we're going to go ahead and go through it really quick by position. So if we can look at the 40-man roster, like you see Zanino, all those guys that you're used to, Frisk, I mean, all these guys at the top are going to be there for sure. Streckenrider obviously still on the squad as well. He was actually not too bad for us last season. Alvin Morris is technically on the MLB roster, and I feel like he'll probably be starting there at the beginning of the season, but we'll see how he improves in the offseason. We're protecting Bobby Beamer, of course. Alec Rosandino is going to be one of the guys added to the team. He's our new third baseman. We've got Derek Dietrich, Sixto Sanchez. We're going to have Jonathan Brish is going to be in AA as one of our starting pitchers there. Aiden Redmond, also a starting pitcher in AA, is going to be protected. You're also going to see Sergio Gonzalez, a AA pitcher. He was formerly Orlando Huerta, 67 overall for him. Dominic Payne joins the team as well as a 22 years of age shortstop. Sandy Alcantara, Jamil Aziz is down here. MJ Melendez, this is the guy that's one of our catchers that I think will be a diamond in the rough for us. He's got a couple of years to progress, but I like what that guy ultimately is bringing to the team. Hank Chase, Trevor Richards, and that's going to be the overall 40-man roster. Now, two guys that I didn't call out that are not technically on the 40-man roster, or at least one of them isn't, is Simon Salazar, a relief pitcher, going to be in AA. And the guy that I just added to make sure that he was on the 40-man roster is Dylan Ruiz. He's going to be a catcher in AA as well. There's also some salary arbitration that basically needs to happen right now, and I get it. We have a couple guys that are outperforming their contracts, and they're trying to get paid. So Mike Zunino, go ahead and offer this dude a 5-year, $19 million contract. Look, he's 28 years of age. He's a fantastic catcher. He came over kind of late in the season for us, but I feel like he's a good dude. Sean Manaea was basically our ace from the previous season, so we're going to make him 5 years, $18 million richer, see if he'll take that offer as well. And we do have a couple of players that we need to make sure we also tender contracts to them. So Gleyber Torres, a guy that I want to be 100% a part of this organization. Yeah, $2 million for him. I actually want to go and say I want this dude for a 3-year contract, $4.2 million per year. We'll give him a club option as well after that, which again I think will be fine for us, but yeah, he's going to be on the team for a long time coming. We've hit free agency, and I know that Bryce Harper has a qualifying offer made to him, but I can't resist trying to make an offer to this dude. So we're going to say, look, Bryce, we'll give you 5 years, $150 million. You're 26 years of age, and we're going to give you a player option to sweeten the deal. Maybe that'll entice him, maybe it won't, but Bryce Harper, look, we're the spot for you. Another top guy in the market is Madison Bumgarner. I know he's 29 years of age, so rather than offer him a 5-year deal, look, I'm going to say 4 years. With a player option being there, you'll be our ace on the roster. $110 million is a lot of money, especially for a pitcher, but I'm willing to pay it if he'll come to the team. Our team also desperately needs a closing pitcher. Hank Chase I don't think is ready. Bobby Beamer probably isn't ready to be the closer, especially an everyday kind of guy for me. So I'm saying, look, 3 years, $22 million. It's a lot of money for a closer, but we have tons of money to spend right now. I'm going to make this offer. We immediately get bad news that Madison Bumgarner doesn't accept our offer, and look, I don't blame him. Giants have a better team right now, and they offered him more money over a longer period of time. Makes total sense. The Giants also signed Cody Allen to a 4-year, $33 million deal, which is big. Cleveland ends up signing Paul Goldschmidt to a massive deal of 6 years, $128 million. A lot more power just hit their lineup. Fantastic news for us is we signed Sean Doolittle to a 3-year, $25 million deal. Look, I get it, he's a little old, but I think he'll still be fine in our team to help us give that closing pitcher that we desperately need with Brad Ziegler retiring. The Blue Jays ended up snagging Andrew McCutchen on a 2-year team-friendly deal of about $20 million. I mean, even though he's 32, he's still putting up really good numbers. As I'm moving through free agency, I realize I really want to get rid of Wei-Yin Chen, so he's a 74 overall guy at 33 years of age. I have tons of young pitching talent coming up through the minors, so Carlos Cuevas, we're going to go ahead and get him from the Yankees, which I feel like we've been robbing the Yankees in terms of talent recently. We're going to get him with an A potential, 22 years of age, to help bolster that bullpen as either a relief pitcher or a closer. Welcome to the squad, young fella. And the saddest news we could have gotten all offseason is that Bryce Harper decides to sign with the Diamondbacks. Over us, we missed out on an incredible talent. It's unfortunate. Now, we did miss out on basically a lot of the free agents that we wanted, especially Bryce Harper, but we're going to offer J.A. Happ a contract. He's 36. It's not really a huge contract. We can get rid of him and make him, maybe trade it to a contender at some point, but it should be enough to hopefully reel him in and bolster the rest of our starting rotation. Now, the Rule 5 draft is here, and I'm kind of excited right now. I want to see what kind of players are there. So we're going to head to the draft and see what happens next. All right, let's go ahead and advance to our team. So Andrew Heaney got taken. Woo! Shelby Miller, Carlos Rodon. Let's see who's available for us here. What actually has me excited is there's a guy named Joe Ross here, 25 years of age, B potential, 79 overall, that's eligible. I mean, if you look at my rotation, he would instantly be the number 2 guy. So Joe Ross, welcome to our squad. And you guys already know, if there's a pitcher on the board that I can get, I'm probably going to get him, because if nothing else, they're trade bait later on. So Jack Flaherty, 23, A potential. They let him go all the way in here, so Jack Flaherty, we're going to take you as well. We've hit spring training, and I'm really proud of the roster that we built. Look at how much some of these guys have jumped up. Marcus Frisk is now a 79 overall. How ridiculous is it that that guy has jumped from, I believe, a 71 in Season 1 to a 79 here in Season 2? Andre Johnson saw minimal improvements up to a 73. Seager an 83. We have Mike Zunino, who's an 82. Dakota Elrod jumped up to a 76. Dietrich at a 72. Gleyber Torres is now a 78 overall. I mean, he barely played in the majors for us, only a few months, but he dominated really well, and he's actually improved significantly. Esteban Florial, again, barely played in the majors, now up to a 72. I'm really happy. Now, if you look at our bench really quick, MJ Melendez, Cameron Maven's going to be coming off the bench for us a lot. I could be starting him over Dietrich, but we'll kind of flip those guys around back and forth. Dominic Payne got called up, Monty Harrison, Garrett Cooper, Jamil Aziz, Dylan Ruiz, and Alex Rosandino. It's important to remember that we're also in spring training, so not all these guys will be in the final Major League roster, but there's a lot of young talent on this team. In the offseason, I did acquire J.A. Happ, but I'm going to try to trade J.A. Happ, Troy Dixon, and Kyle Lewis for Carlos Rodon, who is basically significantly younger than J.A. Happ, and he's the same overall, and he's cheaper in terms of money, and also get a young pitching prospect in Anderson Espinoza. Now, we're going to see if they're going to take this trade. They want a little bit more. I've reworked this trade to get even more pitchers than possibly before, which is kind of crazy, but Carlos Rodon, Anderson Espinoza, and Jimmy Sherm, we got an A potential out of 2 of those guys. For J.A. Happ, again, a very old pitcher, and we're going to save some money. Troy Dixon, a catcher that's not going to even be starting for us, and JT Riddle, our backup shortstop. Now that we have our boy Dominic Payne, I think we can afford to go ahead and let go of JT Riddle because he's a little bit older. Now, will they take the trade? The Padres just got hosed. I do have unfortunate news though. Marcus Frisk, our starting left fielder, one of the best young players on our team, tore his shoulder and he's out for 1 to 2 months. So It's going to be tough to get the season started without him, but we should have him back by mid to late May if I'm projecting it properly. And to look at our starting lineup, here's what we're going to basically be going with at the beginning of the season. So Cameron Maven's going to be our starting guy in right field. Alex Rosandino will be getting some time at DH. Third base is Kyle Seager, first base is Dakota Elrod, Derek Dietrich in left field, Mike Zunino at catcher, second base will be Gleyber Torres, shortstop will be Andre Johnson, and center field will be Esteban Florial. And for our pitching rotation, we have Sean Manaea, Joe Ross, Michael Yanoa, Carlos Rodon, and Adam Conley. And in the bullpen, we're going to see Jack Flaherty. We're going to give him an opportunity to see what he can do. The young fella might have some good stuff. We have Nick Whitgren, Severino Gonzalez, Brian Dwensing, Kyle Barraclough will be our setup guy along with Sean Burnett, and then Sean Doolittle will be our closer. The team is looking great. I think we've improved significantly over year number one. Once Marcus Frisk is back, I feel like this team can at least push for the playoffs, and that's my goal. If we can get into the playoffs, I'll be happy, but this team, they are locked and ready to go.